Hi, I'm Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life. I talked to acclaimed director and executive producer Roland Emmerich.
When I saw the first race, I was like giddy.
Actor Ewan Ryan.
For an actor, that's a dream, although you do get a lot of sand in your sandals.
And so many more.
You helped summon those ghosts back onto that stage.
Every day when I went to set, I was giggling about what I saw.
I think it's going to be a breathtaking thing.
People will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The web tore. Those that both creators and were created by the threads disentangle from the fringes to feast on the very thing that spawned them.
What's that, City? This is how you deal with weird!
No! Do not harm my children! Oh, you lost a feather. Can I keep it?
No, you can't force me to!
Do you know what lies within nothing?
Rocket is in trouble, Akasa! Can we turn on the windshield remotely?
No, she could lose her job as an Akasar.
I don't fear Vehar.
No, but you fear me. If you intend to trick me, I will not hesitate to sever the oath bond entirely.
Why didn't you help me? Coward! I don't have a parachute! I don't like free falling!
Counterbalance, a high fantasy audio drama. Season 2, coming 15th of October 2023. Learn more on trilunas.com.
Welcome back to Angel on Top, a podcast where we watch and discuss every episode of Angel, one by one, spoiler-free, and in tandem with our arch nemesis, those women who don't like the moon's blood, over at Buffering the Vampire Slayer. That's an inside joke. I'm your co-host, LaToya Ferguson, a.k.a. the Cordelia Chase of the Bufferingverse, a.k.a. one half of the Gunn Squad, bang bang, a.k.a. Arby's Crinkle Fried Vodka, a.k.a. Forever Alone, and do not forget it, a.k.a. Gwen Raiden's red hair streak, a.k.a. a nerd with no leverage, just like Wesley Wyndham-Pryce, a.k.a. even more annoying new nicknames to come.
And I'm your co-host, Morgan Lutich, a.k.a. the Winifred Burkle of the Bufferingverse, a.k.a. the other half of the Gunn Squad, kapow, kapow, a.k.a. kissy, kissy, LaToya, I love you, I love you, I love you, you're not alone because I'm here, a.k.a. Gwen Raiden's white hair streak, a.k.a. a virgin who can't drive, a.k.a. even more annoying new nicknames to come.
And this week, we're watching Angel Season 4, Episode 12, Calvary. Calvary was written by Jeffrey Bell and Stephen S. DeKnight and Mayor Smith and directed by Bill Norton. It aired on the WB on February 12th, 2003.
And this is the one where Team Angel biffs it again, having Angel around, and then manages to have it even further biffed, given that Cordy doesn't seem quite like herself.
Previously on Angel. Evil's coming, Angel, and it's planning on staying. Lilah gets attacked by the beast at Wolfram and Hart. The beast wants to destroy everything. Wes tells Lilah to hide underground and change her name. Well, she did one of those things. The beast plans to block out the sun permanently. Seems like it's working. Beast, join me, Angelus. Sexy. Angelus doesn't know, Angel doesn't know who the beast is, so we need Angelus. We got Angelus. Angelus goes on about how Wes wants to fuck Fred. Fred and Wes kiss. Face it, Gunn, you can't give her what she needs. Punch. Whoops, Fred gets hit. Which in the previously's edit, they make it look a lot more intentional on Gunn's part instead of the very clear accident it was.
Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Love to relitigate things in the previouslys.
You know,
what is this, Glee?
He's my son, ADR line. You know, like that. Angelus calling Wes a fucking dork. So gotta put Angel Soul in now. Whoops, Angel Soul, it's gone. So, as I noted, this episode is titled Calvary.
I wrote Cavalry in my notes.
Correct.
And the title of the recording that I just put up in Logic that is going to be dropped into the Dropbox to make this podcast, it also says Cavalry.
Yes, I always just assume this episode is titled Cavalry. Then I have to remind myself, no, it's the other one.
What's that mean?
Well, Calvary means an experience of usually intense mental suffering.
Oh, so like in Les Mis, in One Day More, it's this, the lyric is this never-ending road to Calvary. That makes more sense. There we go.
That's also like, it also means like the representation of the crucifixion of Jesus. So yeah, it's very bad.
Oh, ooh, JC.
And then, of course, Cavalry is used to refer to a source of help, a rescue in an emergency.
Yeah, no, that's not here.
And it's clearly an intentional confusion because in this episode, Lilah even says the cavalry is not coming.
Interesting.
Because it is a Calvary.
Yeah, instead it's time for the misery. And I certainly felt that watching this.
You felt Les Mis?
I felt One Day More. I was like, that's about all I got in me. This one was rough again. This tested me some more.
Well, I have to let you know what episode of Dawson's Creek it was behind because it was not a good pairing.
Please tell me.
So the episode was the season 6 episode Castaways, a great episode of Dawson's Creek because it's the one where Joey and Pacey get stuck in the Kmart.
Oh, it's the Kmart one.
Yes. A beautiful, sweet episode of the type of things we wish Cordy and Angel could be doing on this show. But no.
Nice to know someone was having fun. Very mall-episode of them.
Yeah,
I love it.
And there was a drop-off in viewers from 4.2 million to 3.7 million for Angel.
Well, yeah, everyone was having a fun time. They didn't want to feel like absolute dog shit over here.
Right? They're seeing the trailers. It's like, Angelus is torturing everyone even more. Like, cool. Right. I just saw Joey shave off Pacey's goatee, and that was cute.
Oh, yeah, I wish someone had been... Yeah, I wish there'd been a cathartic makeover in this. There was none. Like, Lilah didn't even really get her, like, groove back. Like, did anyone tend to her wound?
Well, there's nothing to tend to. Like, it won't, like, heal.
Won't
like,
close.
Like,
yeah.
it won't, yeah. There's nothing to tend to. I think she tried to tend to it, and...
Yikes.
Whoops. It's kind of for the best, actually. She was put out of her misery. She was just going to bleed to death, apparently.
No. I disagree.
You don't agree with that assessment?
My life is never better off without Lilah Morgan in it.
Would you say that your life would suck without her?
My life would suck without her. I love her so much. This is illegal. Jail for everyone who hurt Lilah. Shall we dig in? Because there's a lot to get into here.
Yes, we're going to dig in. You didn't say dive in because you don't want to sing it again, but I know.
Well, you know it feels good when you dive in.
It does.
So we open with my beautiful boy. We're back with Wu Pang. I'm so excited to see him.
Yeah.
Team Angel shows up. They bust into his like area, and I'm like, rude.
They do the same bit. He's like, must acquire better guards. Wu Pang. Love you, man.
Man, I love you. Wu Pang then, they're like, hey, what do we do? He consults the bones. In my favorite, like, I love when the bones get tossed around and you gotta read the bones. That is good shit, in my opinion.
You're a fan of bone reading?
Yes, I love it.
How do you feel about the Bone Collector?
I haven't seen it.
You see it.
But I support it.
Denzel, Angelina, come on now.
Fuck yeah, that sounds good to me. Actually, now it's on the list. So they talk about the container that the soul was in was called the Mu Ping, I think, and it. Like,
and for some reason, we need Connor to be like weird foreign thing. Everything's a weird foreign thing to you. You're from a hell dimension.
Yeah, that should be like him saying Game Boy. Like he can't like say anything normal. He should say everything with the wrong inflection, like a mom. Talking about something for teens, but
the Pokemon,
anyways, a Pokemon, a Katy Perry, that kind of stuff. So he's like, he says the soul container, it's intact based on what the bones are telling him, but it's missing, and they obviously need it if they're gonna pop that soul back in Angelus. Then in the Hyperion lobby, we can hear Angelus saying that he wants to be good.
Clearly really realizing these dummies do not have the soul.
Oh, it's so funny. He's like, yeah, I want to be good again. Can't wait.
But also, he can hear them still.
He can hear them and is just talking to them. And they're like, yeah, just talking right back to him. There is no discussion at any point. Maybe we shouldn't be letting him hear us and everything that we're saying to each other up here.
Every scene should be in the courtyard.
It is infuriating to me. But you know what's not infuriating to me? It's Charles Gunn with a flamethrower.
Yes.
That is good to me. I'm was thrilled.
When there's like friends on the books, Gunn's playing with gasoline and fire. He's got a flamethrower.
I love it. I love him. Gunn is like, fuck Angelus. I hate this guy. Wes comes up. The two of them are just, the vibes are awful. And Gunn says, like, maybe I was wrong for, like, some of the shit that I did.
Well, he like, Fred says that Angelus was our best chance, and it's like, is that Wes talking? He's like, you agreed too. I'm like, no, Gunn really didn't. He was like, this is immediately Wes's idea. And like, why is this the natural conclusion?
And so he's like, yeah, maybe I was wrong then to hop on board to this. And I'm like, yeah, this so far has not seemed like a very successful plan that has helped anyone.
Yeah. And then enter Angelus, reminding us all, he can hear you dummies.
And he's like, yeah, Wes would never hurt Fred. He talks about how much he wants to fuck Wes because he has a sexy accent. The phrase buttery in their nether regions is used.
No.
I write jail
I thought you said
in all caps.
You said you would come
notes.
in anytime you wanted, but you decided when you want to come in, Kristen.
I'm not coming in anywhere. I just have to.
She's not coming in anywhere.
I'm not. I just wanted to present a united front here. That when that was said on television, I said no.
I love
the lady said
stuff,
no,
and I hate this. Yeah, the lady said no. I fucking hated this.
This is not a gross thing. This is a level as yet unlocked in the Buffyverse, in my opinion. Buttery nether regions. Who I would like to speak to a manager.
I'm curious because like I said, we have 3 writers on this. Mm-hmm. We have Jeffrey Bell, who I believe was show running at this point. We got the homie Stephen S. Tonight. We got Mayor Smith. I'm trying to figure out why you need all 3. Like,
oh, I imagine that usually when there's this many people on a script, it's because it got like passed around a lot and they were like close on a deadline. I imagine that like with season 7 of Buffy chugging along, it was probably the number 1 priority.
Yeah.
And this
possibly an all hands on deck situation. Anyone who is available.
Yeah. It kind of does feel like that. And I mean, that makes sense as to why we're like staying in the exact same time period and just carrying on. And maybe we're not delving as deep into a lot of situations because we're having to kind of like burn through immediate plot. But yeah, after this we get some rape threats,
which so yeah, that's the thing I wanted to talk more about, which is like he brings up raping Fred to death, which is just really graphic, and I hate it, but at the same time I'm like, I was shocked to even hear it because it's like a lot of shows are just so honestly cowardly to even say the word rape, and I was just like, at least they fucking said it. Like, I think the Buffyverse itself, like, avoided like saying explicitly that that's something Angelus did, even though we know it's something he did. He would always use like euphemisms for saying that's what he did, but like that's what he did. And I think what the purpose for this is to like truly, besides just the exposition of Cordelia saying, and this is season 2 of Buffy. Yeah. You need to like really establish how terrible Angelus is, like outside the context of like just terrorizing the teenage girl he dated. I'm not saying I'm loving it, but I kind of understand it. Like,
no, and I feel similarly. Yeah, it because I think that these are very different shows. So the content on them is going to be very different. So like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like you are watching what is meant to be a fun, poppy, to a certain extent aspirational show about a young woman. So therefore, like making that a space that's significantly more free of threats of sexual violence, I think is good and positive. And I think this is a show that is darker, where you can acknowledge that that is a part of what this man has, like, this evil person has always been doing. And so, it's not necessarily that I'm like, he should never bring up, like, say, gross sex stuff. Like, I do think that is valid, and I think that would be a tool in his tool belt, because he is, like, a patriarchal instrument of male
and especially
power.
If you believe the demon of a vampire is, like, the warped version of who you are as a person. This is the fucking warped version of Liam.
Yeah, Liam, who we met in Spin the Bottle and was like a guy with low impulse control, like, trying to hedonistically follow what feels good, like whether it was like booze or girls, and not really, and then dealing with guilt afterwards. And, obviously the Angelus would have none of the guilt afterwards.
And I also noted, like, because Angelus now, as we have him, he's not like the bad high school boyfriend metaphor he was in season 2.
No.
Like, this is like the reality of a villain like him.
Yes, because like his ambitions are much bigger here, and as they should be, because this is like a kind of a grander scale of conflict, whereas he was just like specifically inciting revenge on the girl who dared to make him feel something that he honestly can't stop feeling. Like the moment where the reason he, in my mind at least, that he focuses on Buffy so intensely is that he can still feel the happiness and the love that he had for her, and he wants to stomp it out. Like when after, like, I Only Have Eyes for You, he's showering and he's, I just love, it was gross. I'm like, that's happening to him all the time.
Whereas here, he's actually, like, his plan, like, he fucks around for a little bit, but he's like, I'm gonna get out of here so I can, like, I'm not gonna like keep myself trapped in here with these people. I'm gonna go and cause havoc outside, and like it's a fucking big city. They're not gonna catch me. It's just because the sun being gone has kind of actually made it so supply and demand is a problem.
Yeah, it's all the other mean people have gotten it first. But to close this, like, it is not that like, I don't think that Angelus would or like should like say gross sex stuff to these people. Like, I believe that is something he would do. It's just not, I think it's shitty to do when this show has never had like a healthy perspective on female sexuality, like ever. Like, Cordy's never fucking anybody. She's never dating.
Well,
and
she had Gru, and that was healthy.
She had Gru, and that was healthy, but that was it. Like, she has dated no one else. She got Ken Marino Bug pregnant and Gru. Like,
Ken Marino Bug pregnant.
As we all do in Los Angeles at some point or another. But
You did when you were working on Party Down, right?
Yeah, of course. That was the only thing we spoke about. And tried very hard to bring it up, and there was not a natural moment.
Found a way to get him to recite the one line he remembers from Dawson's Creek.
Oh no, I should have. But it trying to make this earnest point about
I know, I'm so sorry. I ruined it.
No. I just am an idiot. I'm the one who said the phrase Ken Marino Bug pregnant. Do not blame yourself. And like Fred's whole thing has just been like she and Gunn are together, and then completely we lose any sense of why she was interested in him in the first place, what remains between them, what is the issues between them, or anything, because there are no actual stories about what's happening between them anymore, because nobody feels like they have a real perspective. Then to like do this gross sexualizing stuff on top of that, it feels shitty. That's the kind of thing you can do when you can do to a character that feels like strong and confident and like in place. I think more than this. I don't know.
I know obviously we can just hate on Joss Whedon forever and these writers because that's cool, right? Always hating on Joss Whedon, always good. But I am curious to know how much of the Gunn West Fred stuff, I think we've even talked about this possibly, was just a directive from the network, because which I love the WB, network execs especially, can be some shitty human beings, and they can be like, she's not going to end up with the black guy, right? And they will, and if you're thinking, well, they wouldn't say anything that forward or anything. One exec once called Michelle Williams a chipmunk face cunt, so... That's in like the WB, one of the WB oral history books. Yeah.
Cool. Kill that person.
Yeah. There was of course Dawson's not going to pick Jen over Joey because, who would want to fuck that? Yeah.
Yeah. And again, like that's not different than now as well. Like I remember being in a pilot casting session and seeing a girl that I thought was so hot. My eyes popped out of my head and I was like, well, she's beautiful and did a great read. And they were like, yeah, she's just like a little too thick for the CW. And I was like, she's skinnier than me. And this was said to my face as like a 25-year-old person. Yeah. So obviously, bad industry, a lot of potential for people acting in bad faith in this space. No one finger is pointed at anybody but Joss Whedon, as always.
Yeah. It'll only be a good industry when we're getting paid $1 million per episode.
And if you give us $1 million a week
as staff writers,
we will change everything. But so that, like, all of that happens. Fred brushes it off. She says that's just words. Like, Gunn shuts the monitor off, right?
Turning off the monitor is not the answer, dum-dum.
It's like, that's
I love you, Gunn.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, he's trying to protect her from, a threat. But, like...
I see Fred's the only one who treats Angelus right in this episode, where she's just like... When she calls him a bitch, she's like, yeah, everyone should just... treat him more like a nuisance than the one who's like fucking up their lives. Her calling him a bitch was the greatest thing she's ever done.
It ruled. I was like, absolutely throw it back, because this guy fucking sucks and he has no power. He is in this cage. He only has the power you give him. And all of them are so like weak and fractured as a unit at this point, and also as like individuals, because they're all like have been isolated by their own various traumas. But it's just like, this is the worst time to be bringing this person in.
Cordy's the only one who didn't give him power, but she's clearly going through some things.
Yeah. I wonder why. So
enter Lilah with a fucking crowbar. Way to turn off the monitors, dummies.
Yes, baby. Yes. She's here. And I was screaming. I write in my notes in all caps, Lilah is back. Thank Christ.
I'm like, what's Lilah doing? I'm like, well, Wolfram, this is exactly what Wolfram and Hart wanted all this time. Congratulations, guys. I know you're all dead, but Angelus is here.
Yeah. Team Angel, you played yourself. So we go to the theme. Back to the basement. Angel and Lilah. Lilah's like, Angelus, stop the beast. And Angelus makes fun of her for getting dumped and living in a sewer, which admittedly, 2 L's.
Yeah. Getting dumped by Wesley. Especially since he's gone back to being a little bitch.
Yeah, like, like pressed Oxford shirt and a sweater, Wesley dumping you. That hurts. That's gotta hurt. Like, if like Nexcar Poppin' Scruff Wes, kicked me out of bed.
He's wearing just jeans, no shirt.
Jeans, no top. I'd be sad, but I'd find a way to get over it. But like, to be dumped by a fucking dweeb, ow.
But you know what? She's been living in the sewer, but she looks great.
She looks great. They're like, you look like shit. And I'm like, beg to differ. She's looking quite good. She's so fucking hot, and she looks weary, but it looks good on her. Then in the lobby, this is where Gunn's like, I didn't mean to hurt you, and I like would never do that, right? And Fred's like, yeah, of course I know that. But if you hadn't like attacked Wes and Gunn attacked, again, it's just like
she's about to speak to a manager. Jesus Christ.
It's just again like, let's establish Gunn as like violent and like unfit for the pure as snow Fred, while also Fred is so much darker than Gunn could ever imagine. I'm like, which is it? And what's happening between them, and why are you so scared of actually telling a story about the dissolution of their relationship rather than having it be a side element to everything else that's going on?
What we keep saying is that, like, if anything, if we're doing dissolution, the story should be that Gunn has outgrown this relationship because he's clearly matured, where Fred has not. If anything, she's like just stagnated.
Yeah, I mean, she's regressing, and like that's a valid response to like going through trauma and like having this stuff with Seidel like come up again. Like, that's not me trying to shit on Fred or tell you that I think she's like a bad person, but like
we love Fred, and I think what we're asking for is what we were just talking about on Vampire Diaries podcast is about holding your characters accountable instead of treating them like they're baby and they never done anything wrong.
Yeah.
And in this case, Fred not only needs to be held accountable, but she just needs to be held to a standard of a character who has an inner thought and mind in this situation. Like, other than now Team Wes.
She's treated like an outsider on the team, like narratively. Like, she's given like as much like her motivations are hidden from us as if she's a villain, like as if like
as if she was the one gonna stab Lilah at the end.
Yeah, like what's going on in her head is a mystery that we're holding back because it's going to, like that bear trap's gonna snap or whatever and get us. But like all of your characters can't be ciphers. Like, this isn't a spy drama. Like, this isn't the fucking Americans. Like, you have to these are my friends, and they have been my friends before. You have to tell me and show me how they feel. And it's just like it's a bummer.
It is bullshit that they keep throwing the whole Gunn just brute who violent brute when it's like he speaks up. He's saying his feelings. He's saying his thought process.
He's the only one communicating to the group about how he feels and what he's thinking.
And he's always telling them in any instance what he thinks. No one listens to him, but like that Wes's apology, and he's trying to tell Fred to tell Gunn. Like, no. Go tell your former best friend that you're sorry.
Yeah, I felt of two minds about that, where I was like, I guess in like the heat of everything, like if you still think they're together, just be like, let him know I'm open to talking. Like, if he doesn't want to fucking talk to me right now, like, absolutely. Like, I understood.
Telling Fred to that's not gonna help.
I was like,
telling Fred to do it. That's
fucking cowardly. Yeah, tell Cordy maybe. Like, if you're gonna, if you feel like talking to him directly is just
neutral
gonna cause
third party.
Pain. Yeah. Just. It's and I'm sorry, I know we're not really like into the drama of the episode right now, but like it's just so disappointing. Like I'm disappointed, but
here's the thing:
it's a disservice to Fred.
You know what? I'm angry, but I'm still enjoying it more than season 7 of Buffy. Because you know what? I haven't said it because I've somehow still not been really on buffering proper. Don't know how that's happened.
Yeah, me neither.
But I fucking hate Andrew. I hate him so much. I could do a whole episode just on that.
It's they're doing the exact opposite. Like, I'm like begging for everyone's internal lives here, and I'm like, Andrew, a little less from you. I could stand to hear like a small filter on it. How about that? Like,
need less Andrew, more Lelaine.
Yeah, absolutely, more Lelaine. So we have this. Gunn says, Gunn breaks up.
Sorry, let me see where we are real quick.
We our last beat that we discussed was like, if you hadn't attacked him.
Yeah.
So from there, Gunn is just like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm done. and valid.
And say you didn't see last episode.
Yeah.
If you've just seen the previouslys, what you have seen from Gunn is horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Because they definitely, again, they do some sweetening on that editing to make it look like he not, because it's very clear in the fight, he's winding up. He actually does, he's moving Lord out of the way when but it's clear, he's winding up, and they're doing, they do editing to, tighten it up and make it look like he intentionally hit her in the previouslys.
Which, you have to tighten up stuff for previouslys because it has to be, short and concise, but not cool. When you use the previouslys to make things look like they happened that didn't happen, or...
Are you going to bring up Glee?
I am going to bring up Glee, because it's fucking ridiculous. The most egregious example of this is, of course, in Glee. If people don't know, I will tell them. There is a moment in which there is the monologuing, here's what you missed on Glee, and the previouslys guys is talking about, how Artie and Brittany hooked up. They did. They hooked up. And then she didn't want to have sex with him anymore, and it ended. And it was never mentioned again for weeks. And then this guy, this cheeky little voiceover dude, is like, and Artie and Brittany hooked up, and now he kind of wants her back. And I was like, no, that had not been established. That had not been established at any point. At no point. And at the beginning of the episode, Artie's like, as we all know, I've been trying to get Brittany back for a long time. That didn't happen. You cannot lie. You cannot lie and tell your audience things happened that didn't happen. It is the hugest pet peeve in the entire fucking world. And there's so many problems with this in studio filmmaking when climaxes to movies rely on stuff that was cut from them. And it's now we're all friends again. And I was like, when were you friends before? I'm sorry, Ghostbusters 2016, but I'm looking at you.
This is the moment Ryan Murphy should have officially been stopped.
I tried, but I was but 17. I tried so hard to stop him alone from my Arizona bedroom. But anyways, Gunn says you dumped.
That's exactly what I have in my notes. Because we have one brain cell.
We have ruined each other. He says, I'm tired of you looking everywhere but at me. Fair.
Enter Wes's bitch ass. And before... So she literally looks at Wes and then it's like, I do want to go back real quick,
please,
to the Lilah Angelus scene, because she notes that the beast killed everyone in Wolfram Heart, even people who were out sick that day. So he found them. That's why she's on the run, because he is looking for them. And it's don't you know we're the bad guys? And I'm like, huh. And then I also realized why that is, but obviously I can't spoil that.
Right. So yeah, I am so annoyed. Fred is taking zero responsibility for the kiss because she's trying to not talk about it now, which I get. Now's not a great moment, but we have now reached a point of critical mass where it's communicating at the wrong time is better than not communicating at all. Because
she tries.
You have not been talking to each other.
Yeah, she even tries to lie again about the kiss. Come on.
She's like, it just happened, and I'm like, stop. That's not. That it didn't just happen.
You know what the issue is? She also, Amy Acker looks amazing in this episode, and I'm furious.
When she has her hair down later, I'm like, how dare you?
She is restyling her hair in every scene.
You are not allowed to look that hot the day after the breakup. I want them like Nick and Jess in Big News. I need them both fucked up beyond belief at the honey roast, crying. She cannot look better than ever. It's just not fair. So Wes walks in. Ooh, she's looking at him.
I'm trying to, okay, so yeah, Gunn just, he goes steps away. Fred says she's been trying to figure out the banishing text. What is that? Is it what they tried to do to the beast that failed when before the sun got blocked up? She's just trying again?
I think it might be, yeah.
Guys,
I don't know.
Come on.
Ooh, they don't have a lot of options. So They're like, the shaman visit was a bust. Oh, yeah.
Connor makes a great quip.
He does, yeah. He's like, how was the luck? And he was like, all bad, you know? Like, it was really cute. Like, I was like, again, Connor, resident conheads, all three of us. He's firing on all cylinders this week.
Scoobies, I gotta say, this is a good Connor episode.
This is the best Connor episode.
This probably is the best Connor episode there's ever been.
Yeah, because there was like a good scene with him.
There's multiple good scenes with him. This counts.
Unreal. So Lauren's out looking like and talking to his contacts, and then on the video we see that fucking Lilah's in the basement with Angel, and Gunn runs down there.
Gunn turned it back on as soon as he stepped away.
He's like, shit.
It should never be off. Mute it if you have to. Just but keep it on.
Yep. Then in the basement, Gunn tranks Angel, Lilah runs, and Gunn gives good directions, and he's strategic and smart, even though something awful has just happened to him. He's like, Connor, you stay here. We don't know what everyone else planned. I'm proud.
But no, Morgan, Gunn's Mr. Where do I stick my axe? He's not a good leader.
He's stupid and mean and a brute. Then in the sewer, Wes goes after Lilah. In the basement, they're like, fuck, this is not good. Connor Angel perks up about hearing that Lilah is around and that she might have a connection to the beast. Once again, Connor is so desperate for it to be proved that the beast is someone else's fault, which makes me sad.
Which is the thing, I think for the most part, we've kind of proven that it is, but it is that whole bursting from where he was born part. That's the one thing.
It's tough to get over. I get it. So then in our sewer chase, Lilah is wounded. She does not want Wes's help. She was bluffing regarding helping Angel escape.
No.
Yeah. She says
she wants him out so he can kill the beast, but also she found the spot in the sewers with urinals.
Good for her.
Where's that spot in the sewers? Does anyone know?
That's where if you need to pee in the sewer, you can go.
I think the point is it's probably because he did go up on the ladder. It's underground, paved over metro station area. Yeah, that.
Probably.
So, I remember for the longest time in my neighborhood, there was still it was gated off basically. It was the access to a bus, the train station area that was no, they finally just fucking paved over it though. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. There should be shit underground. That's cool. So she says that taking Angel's soul away made ripples in the supernatural world. She still has contacts. She could find stuff out.
It's even if you're a low-level vampire who just knows the sun's blacked out, you don't quite know that Angelus is out. But the big celestials, they know.
Yeah, the movers.
People are
shakers.
talking.
Absolutely, they are. So we move on. I write in my notes, Wes, call my girl desperate one more time and see what happens. He's just fucking negging the shit out of her, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill you. Fuck off.
You know who's funny? Morgan Lutich, and she's gonna kill you.
Look at my nails.
If anyone loves that deep cut, Josie the Pussycat reference, be our friend.
Yeah, absolutely. You're invited to be our friend. So, Lilah has this book, and they're and Wes is we already checked that book. And she has a black market copy from another dimension. So it has information about the beast that seems to have been removed from all the copies in this dimension. And Wes is okay. He's using his noodle. Something's starting to happen. Maybe this knowledge can be found from other dimensions. Then
he also didn't think she'd literally go underground, which is very funny.
And I'm just look, she was listening. Sorry.
She knows how the show works. You say going around to the sewer, she goes.
She's yeah, this is a gorgeous, huge sewer set. So then in the basement, they're it comes out Angelus is kind of the beast isn't working alone. They're does he have minions or something? And Angel's he is the minion, you fucking morons.
I love that Angelus was just so annoyed by how they're missing the obvious. He's fine, I'll help you. Jesus Christ.
That would have been my strategy. I would have been like, we annoy the fuck out of him until he says shit. Like, I would talk to Angelus about my day for hours. I would gag him and I would just be like, oh my God, I was in line at the DMV today and it was so fucking annoying, and you're going to have to hear every micro interaction that I had. I would torture him like that.
So this happens because Gunn says maybe the big bad beast has me is doing his dirty work. And I'm like, no, Gunn, that's Buffy season 7. Yeah. That's the first.
The little guys.
Angel's like, fuck season 7.
Fuck it. But yeah, but he actually has no leg to stand on saying fuck season 7 because he's given speeches left and right.
So I like to believe, so Buffy's giving us like a speech, Angelus is giving wrestling promos. He does a lot of you people in his promos. He comes out for his match to the Angel theme song.
Absolutely.
Give me a fucking mic. Gets on. All you people.
Actually, hell yeah. I wish there was more wrestling in this show. So Angel calls them a slur. It sucks. And then Angel's like, the beast is dumb, so he must have an ambitious boss making him do all of this like sun curse shit.
They should have realized when Angelus was telling the story of how he met the beast. It was the whole thing, come on, you want to team up? You want to meet up? Like, you want to give me orders? Like, come on.
This beast is a classic sub. and we have to find out who their disciplined daddy is.
Possibly a new daddy in town.
Quite possibly there's a new daddy in town. So then in the lobby, everyone's like, I bet Lilah took the soul. And Wes is like, she didn't. Okay. Then Lilah covers...
It's crazy that Angel's the only one who knew they were fucking.
Unreal. They have we were fucking vibes. Then Lilah covers for Wes when they're like, how'd you even get out of Wolverman Heart? She's like,
Gunn didn't know, did he? He was like, he knew there was something.
Yeah. He doesn't know, but he doesn't care.
He knew they had like a relationship in terms of like working. Did he know, at least know they were like working together?
He might have, yeah. Like I'm sure he did, yeah, and was, not pleased about it.
Y'all should have figured it out when Angel was beautiful mining and it's like, and Lilah's watching Wesley.
Yeah, how did... absolutely wild. So they're like, there's a bigger plan at play here and we have to figure out what it is. Gunn is like, fuck this, I'm gonna go guard Angelus. Like, I don't want to fucking be here. Fair enough. And Cordelia's like, let him go. Like, we need to figure out what's going on.
They're all so in denial about the boss thing because here's the thing. It means they were being wrecked by an underling the whole fucking time.
Yeah, and it means something worse is coming. So naturally, none of them want to believe it, but it is...
because it's pretty bad right now.
It's already pretty bad. They're absolutely getting their shit wrecked by a minion. And that is very sad. So then, in the basement, we have an Angelus and Gunn scene. And Angelus is telling him, like, what's good about you is you never try to change. You know your place.
And I'm like, if he calls him boy, I'm going to kill myself.
I am furious. Angelus is like, Fred, like, it looks like Fred's going to dump you for someone with a bigger horizon. And Gunn's reply, bless his heart, is, it's her life. Like, he is hurting and he is sad, but he immediately is like, I don't want to be with Fred if she doesn't want to be with me. I appreciate that. He's like, this is her fucking call. And, like, thank you, lovely boy. That is not the possessive brute I was led to believe he is. But this leads me to something I would like to speak about. I know we've already spoken about some big global topics very broadly, so I'm sorry. But I think... obviously Joss Whedon is a fan of the archetype. He has a couple archetypes that are very specific to him. Willow and Fred are clearly very, like, much of a piece. And his, like, warriors, I think, become really problematic. He's always, like, their problem is that they're simple. Their problem is that they're too quick to fight. And there's never a lot of like analysis underneath that about the why or the how can that change. And I don't know, I've been reading some like fantasy literature that has a lot of emphasis on like being in the military and like being a pawn in a larger war and being on the front lines and having to eat all the shit. And what kind of person do you have to be to rise through the ranks like that? What kind of person do you have to be to put yourself through this or to need to put yourself through this? And it's just been like infinitely more humane than the way I feel like these characters are treated. Like, Gunn is here for a reason, and he's not like to treat him like he's simple, and like Wes is someone with a bigger purpose than him. I just hate it. It really fucking sticks in my craw, and I don't like it. Do you agree that this is like, I think he made like one of his warrior characters that's not a flop? Like, it's Gunn, but
Gunn is the non-flop,
but it's Gunn because of like the performance, like he's saving it and keeping it consistent. Like, there's a lot. It's because also it's when you think about it, like there's a story to be told with Angel bringing Gunn into the fold, kind of like a father-son situation. Not that Gunn wants that, but possibly that Angel wants that. Mm-hmm. And he could see Gunn possibly as his successor. Yeah. There is a story to have in that. And then when it comes to the back and forth kind of push and pull between Wes and Gunn, it's like now it's just succession. Yeah. Who is the successor to Angel? Is it Wesley or Gunn? Yeah. Is it the brains or quote unquote brawn? Because like Wesley has his way, and then like Gunn is under the learning tree of Angel. So it's like, who is the natural leader after Angel is like unavailable? Angel's constantly telling us he can't wait to die, so we should absolutely be thinking about this kind of structure and fail safes. And it's just like, I don't know. I just at this point felt
for someone who loves William Shakespeare so much, you think Joss Whedon would think of it in those terms.
Yeah, he's not thinking King Lear at all. Come on, dude. You even read?
He's like, well, I have a character named Cordelia, so that's it, right?
Fuck you. You don't know
He's
shit
a fake
about the
Shakespeare
bard.
bro. He's a fake Shakespeare bro.
Do you even read Shakespeare, bro? This is what's gonna get him to contact us. So,
oh god, just 2 hours of Joss Whedon digging himself deeper and deeper on the podcast because we called him a fake Shakespeare bro.
This is how we end him. Angel, this is where Angelus is like, yeah, by the way, Angel knew what happened with Seidel. He's noticed the whole fucking time, which I kind of hate. Like, I hate backfilling that and not giving the reveal to Angel and one of the members of, this relationship. It just kind of dramatically feels really inert. And he does that a bunch with Gunn and Fred. Like, Angelus has more of a relationship with Gunn and Fred in this season than Angel does.
Yeah.
And that's wild.
I'm trying to figure out, how do I feel about Angel? Because all it's suggesting is that Angel buries his head in the sand when he shouldn't. Which, Angel, not the best leader. And
absolute shit. Like,
he keeps repeating the same mistakes in terms of leadership. Like, I understand, like, not wanting to let personal shit get in the way, but you let your personal shit get in the way all the time, Angel. You have to, sometimes you have to be Dr. Phil with your squad.
How many fucking times have we gone out of our way to save your shitty kid for no reason? Like, you have to tell the couple that you work with that you've realized their relationship is entirely dissolving and that's a fundamental tenet of your group that is, column of it that's crumbling.
He could probably just, without even acknowledging that, he knows, he could just, throw a little anecdote their way that could possibly help.
Yeah. Or, ask. But anyway.
No, you know how awkward he is.
Yeah, fucking idiot. So Gunn admits that he's the one who killed Seidel, and Angelus really sinks his hooks in, and of course he says, for the first time in your life, you just weren't dark enough.
3 white people wrote that.
3 white people wrote that. And it is unfortunate. But then Gunn...
How does it feel when 3 people write that?
It feels bad. I didn't care for it. How did you feel?
I wasn't thinking about it. Just because the flame lighting J. August Richards is very hot.
Very hot. Very good. Very cool. Very deserved. Very needed. Big hearts written in my notebook. We move on to a Fred and Wes scene. Wes is like consoling her.
Shut up, bitch. Fred reminds us about the Orifessula and like why you can't use it because the soul is in the jar. It's not in the afterlife.
Yeah. And
Cordy should have just fucked Angel.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would have made everything easier.
Would have been so much easier. Instead, she had to fuck him in a dream. Wes asks Fred to apologize to Gunn for him, which I write in my notes. On one hand, bitch move. On the other hand, it is best to be indirect right now. When Fred's like, we're actually not together anymore.
And then he says, not because of what I did. And I said, shut up, bitch.
Are you kidding me? Not because of me, right? Fuck off. Fuck you, asshole. Yes, because of you. You think someone else you think Connor was kissing her?
Connor just systematically ruins Angel investigations by fucking all of them.
Connor's going for all the ladies. So
no, the men too.
And the boys. Just kiss, kiss, kiss. And Fred says, things just haven't been right for a long time.
Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life.
Gosh, people will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, my name is Alison Larkin, and I'm a writer, comedian, and narrator and host of the Jane Austen podcast. This podcast brings Jane Austen's stories to the 21st century, along with commentary from me and conversations with fascinating people who all share a love of Jane Austen. And of course, we had to start with none other than Pride and Prejudice. So join me as we embark on a journey through some of the most wonderful stories I know. The Jane Austen podcast with Alison Larkin is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's pretty clear to everyone by now that social media has changed everything from the way we live to how we discuss politics and what we think we know about the world around us. Which begs the question, who's in charge here? Hi, I'm Jon Favreau, former Obama speechwriter turned chronically online host of Offline with Jon Favreau. Join me every week just outside your social media-fueled echo chamber for a smarter, lighter conversation about the real-time changes and real-world effects of social media and the internet on all of our lives. Check out Offline with Jon Favreau every Sunday wherever you get your podcasts.
So Wes,
and also things haven't been right for like a long time. It's like it hasn't been that long. It's been a short period of time. This whole season's only like 3 months.
Yeah, I'm like, hasn't it been like a month? Like, talk to each other.
Gunn keeps trying to talk to you, and you say no. You won't take a bath with him.
He wanted to take a cathartic bath. Wes is like, well, you know, I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I write you. This is the part where I'm supposed to say I'm sorry, and he like coming up to her slowly, feeling for the kiss. Luckily, Cordelia and Lilah interrupt, and Lilah jokes about this because she knows what's going on.
Yeah, Wes puts on his boss voice to talk to all of them. It's very funny. He's like, "Oh, this is what I'm supposed to say. I'm sorry. We are here to do that." Like it's very the change in tone is very apparent. Lilah, of course, notices the vibe, and Wes is like, "I'm gonna go downstairs and relieve Gunn. Goodbye."
Maybe apologize to him when you're down there, bitch.
No, I should give that a fucking shot. In the lobby.
Is this the time to bring Kristen? Actually,
yeah. Hey, Kristen.
So we're really just piling on right now.
Kristen, would you like to pile on?
Kristen's Corner. Kristen's Riley sucks and what the fuck, and Cordy is hot. Kristen's Corner is the place for very deep thoughts.
I would love nothing more. I was like sitting on my hands over here trying not to just jump in because I was like, I will wait to be summoned.
She wanted to dive in.
You know,
I mean, most of what I have to say is really what you've said. I've been really, like, watching this episode, I was thinking deeply about because at first I was like, this is like kind of character assassination even for Wes. That was like my gut instinct. But then I was like, let's think about who Wes has been over the course of time. And like, Wes has had some good moments, but also I do think that Wesley is a character that had all of the ingredients to create this fucking asshole, and he is truly being an asshole. So I don't know, I haven't like settled in a final place, but watching this scene that you just talked about, when he tells, first of all, the fact that any of them are having these conversations in the situation that they're in will forever astound me. It makes no fucking sense.
And even Angelus calls it out later as Angel.
Yeah, Angelus, though very, very, very bad, also tells it like it is.
The hero of this story.
We have an anti-hero. His name is Angelus. This is like on par with Breaking Bad, on par with Mad Men.
Kind of the Walter White of this show.
Give him a stupid hat.
Say his name.
The way that he talks to Fred in this fucking scene is, I think the worst I've seen so far to date in the series, because it's like so belittling, and he's just so yuck.
It is infantilizing. They treat her like she's a precocious little girl. And that is fucking gross to see grown men do. It really disgusts me and gives me like the full-on fucking ick. And like, I have no one to point at but fucking Joss Whedon. Like, what the hell?
And that's the thing too. It's like Wesley as a character is infantilizing her in the scene, but then also you can like through Fred, you can hear the fucking writers doing that to her by the way she answers him and the way she acts towards him.
Yeah, and I will say, I said Jeffrey Bell was running the show, but like by all accounts, like still everything, like even with all the shows going at once, like Joss was the final pass on everything.
Yeah.
5,000% yes. And it like the buck stops there. That's how television works. It's if you have a problem, the first finger is pointed at the showrunner. That is just like the creator, EP, top of the chain. It's that person.
Like it's weird because the show was created by both Joss and David Greenwald, and David Greenwald is the one who wanted Cordelia to be the female lead for the show. But it's like Joss, they just always pulled rank basically.
Yeah. And like, I mean, they're his characters that he created. Like, there is precedent there, and that's how things would normally work in a room. But obviously, maybe it might have been better if they worked a different way. And because and I don't want to do this, because as we all know, I like Wes. As we all know,
because I love Wes. I'm upset with Wes, but I overall love Wes. I love Alexis Denisof. Yes,
I love Alexis Denisof.
Yes,
but like you like infantilizing this girl when your first relationship in this universe was that you were like sniffing around a high school girl. It's not a great look. It's not a great look that you like younger women that are easy to manipulate and don't really talk back too much and that seem to have a lot less power than you. That's not like a really cool pattern to have. And I don't care for it. And what it signifies. And I know, I don't know. Like, there's just no.
Well, and I think
gross.
that's like kind of what I'm wrestling with, because I guess at the end of the day, it's impossible to separate a character from the person writing the character. But I have
when especially that. This. I also want to note infantilizing, because I just double check. It's like Fred has to be one of the older characters possibly around what's his age, at least, just because she was a grad student when she got sucked into Lilah for 5 years. She's older than Cordelia. You wouldn't know it.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it. Cordelia, who's but 17.
It gets younger. It gets younger every time.
Fucking time. Cordelia, a mere tween. It's just a fucking
Cordelia
bummer.
watching Lizzie McGuire in one episode.
I want a bra. I just like.
It's just a lot, and I think like Wesley, the character of Wesley carries a lot of the weight of what I feel, but like the truth of it is that it goes far past that for me. Like because you're right in that Fred looks fucking amazing. Her hair looks great, but I was furious when her appearance began to change as she started to like lean west, because it's just I've seen it and I've fucking felt it before, and it's the same shit all over again, and she's
not back to her angelic form.
It's as
she's not being sullied by Gunn.
It's as if when she was with Gunn, she was allowed to be a character that like had things going on. Like I think about the first Casino episode, and I think about him wanting to like have her eat all day and take her to all of these fun places, and her just being like, oh my god, I'm like a little maxed out on joy right now, but like he knows her so well. They're doing a million things that they would have eventually done together, and it's so clear how they get along and how they bond and what their relationship is built on. And now and that was a girl who could like be in a ponytail and like a baggy pair of clothes, and I didn't feel like she was any less gorgeous because of it, because she felt like she was radiating so much light and joy and such a specific kind of, you know, Fredness. And now she's like all glammed up and doe-eyed and blinking her and batting her little eyelashes at, you know, Big Daddy British accent, and it like and he's gonna teach her something, and it's just like gross. Like I like Joss Whedon, I don't want to read your fucking self-insert fan fiction about you and some younger woman you could, you know, teach a thing or two. I have unfortunately read about it in too many trade publications.
But like so much of his like fucked up sex stuff in these shows is always along those lines. Like you're either the bad girl and then you're only there to fuck, or you're the good girl but you can be a little bad. And if you're just the girl who like wants to eat waffles, that's cute for a minute, but you probably can't be fucked. It's like there's no blending of those things.
That's not sexy, even though Gunn thought that was sexy.
And
Gunn and Kristen.
All of us. It's just
all of us.
It just like breaks my heart, like thinking like, and I'm sorry to bring up Joss Whedon so much on this podcast we do about his work, but like thinking about like when I watched this stuff, I was so impressionable. Like I watched this when I was 15, and because I wasn't in a position to see that like paying lip service to female empowerment is very different than actually doing it. And there are stuff in both of these shows that I think is strongly feminist. There's stuff in both of these shows that I think is deep and important to me and matters to me and like still stands the test of all of this stuff in spite of this. But sometimes when you have to like wade through the muck to get to it, it can just feel like so fucking painful. Like I saw myself as Fred and as Willow, like so in that archetype, like so much growing up, and like to see this girl that I was or that I've been to be so belittled and dismissed and turned into just like a fantasy for an older man to just like project all of their shit onto. It tells you like, yeah, you're in the feminist fairy tale, you get to grow up and be some dude's consolation prize. Like, if you're not the quippy girl out there who like leads with like sexuality and a punch, like, you're the book girl, and luckily some guy's gonna scoop you up eventually, or you know, or like Tara, and you're gonna be sad forever, and she'll die in your arms because you need to be punished for being gay. Like, I'm just mad, like, and I'm like hurting.
Yeah, and I think that where you guys, I mean, clearly, like, Joss created the show that we talk about, the show that you talk about, but I do think that, like, this particular point in this particular season of this particular show is just very, very much a spotlight on these things that it's almost impossible not to touch on it.
And all of this is not even to say anything about Charisma, who...
Right, no, that's what I mean. It's like we're flirting with some charisma stuff, and we have the Fred. It's like a lot of things are happening right now.
The stuff, because everyone talks about the charisma stuff, obviously, and for good reason. No one really talks about like this, especially this love triangle, because we've talked about it before. How fandom didn't seem, for whatever reason, to care for Gunn Fred anyway. So they never really talked about them. They just they were fine with this.
They were fine with this. They were totally fine with this.
Yeah, well, you know,
it's fucked on so many levels, and I guess like this corner has been like a therapy session for me to work because I really felt weird being like, I don't like Wesley. Like, it felt wrong, and I think that like this is like part of the reason, you know, that like, yes, this character is acting not good right now, but also we've seen Wesley act good. And like, really, if you dig to the bottom of it, it's because this isn't really about the character of Wesley, and it's certainly not about the character of Fred, and it's certainly not about the character of Gunn. This is about some of the fucked up shit happening in the mind of the person who's like really steering the ship.
And it is that like revisiting and relitigating, because what was it? One of our writers was as like just for a shorthand for one of their pitches is like, he's kind of like the Xander, and then like me and a bunch of female people on staff were like, no, we want him to be likable, right? He's like, Xander's likable, right? Like, have you rewatched it recently? He's like, no. He's like, no, he's full on Joss Whedon insert in an upsetting way.
Yeah.
It's just like it's also just the fact that like everything we're talking about is attempting to shed light on things that this show is going to continue to ignore as we go forward. Like, I don't really have a clear memory of everything that happens, but I know that we're about to kind of like cauterize the wound that is like Gunn and Fred and move on to, you know, Wesley gets the girl because it's what he always deserved. Like, this show is eager to write off all of this stuff, and because it assumes that you, the viewer, also didn't care and also preferred her, you know, with the right like, guy, which is bullshit.
It's not that fucking Alexis can't play a romantic lead in a love triangle.
Oh, he's fucking hot.
Yeah, is that this version of Wesley should not be with Fred anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just a matter.
He should be with Lilah. Because he should be with Fred.
Should have been with Lilah, but also there is, and you guys have talked about it, and I don't need to like spend too much time, but like, you know, you guys have kind of touched on this already, that if it had just been written differently, we kind of would have been on board for it. Like, if Wesley was like tortured and feeling fucked up, but actually was doing the work that he was supposed to be doing, and Fred found herself like feeling attracted to him, and there was a struggle there, and you saw her story, like, we would have all followed it and been there for the journey. It's just, it's like really, really,
it just feels especially like
after we said
like you couldn't have
so many times in season 3 as we said so many times in season 3, Wes was never in the game,
not once.
And shouldn't have been, except for with Lilah, who he is so fucking mean to all the time. I can't stand it. I know he gives her like a couple of whatevers in this episode too, but it's still with the like, don't embarrass yourself innuendo shit. I'm like, you need to fucking stop it.
Oh, I mean, she's just a pathetic, used up slut, unlike the perfect virgin nerd queen that he deserves.
I would like to end my corner by celebrating something about this episode, which is that I think that it might also be the gayest episode of Angel that I've ever seen.
Yes.
We have flirting between Lilah and Cordelia, one directional flirting of Lilah to Cordelia.
Mm-hmm.
We have Angelus definitely crushing on Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
There's just
If I swung that way, sure. Yeah.
Bitch, you slept with Spike for years. What are you talking about?
The way those four people were fucking all the time, like to try to pretend to me that those two men have never kissed, like they've touched hips, they have kissed, like they have had sex.
Oh yeah, if Jenny was here right now, she would be doing her infamous move of touching her two pointer fingers together on the screen.
I'll do it for her.
I feel like you guys should know that there's a wrestling team called The Acclaimed. Two black men. Their whole thing is one of them's a rapper, and it's very good. The other one's the hype man. And at the end of every rap, they yell, "Everyone loves The Acclaimed," and they do the A symbol, right? Mm. But then they put their A symbols together and do this.
Do a little scissor.
They do so many scissors. They're like,
they don't know.
They do know. All their tweets of the emoji are scissors.
Okay, I was like, somebody should tell them.
They are very aware. One of them is a gay man.
We have no choice but to stand.
Okay, great. The rapper or the hype man? Which one's the
gay? The hype man, but the rapper, he's straight, but like he always tweets about like how there's one male wrestler on the roster who like he wants to like run away with.
I'm just saying, that's ally behavior.
Wow. Just another podcast from three heterosexual
They are both
women.
biracial black men, and I always joke that they're like overcompensating because of their white side.
I love these boys.
All right,
They're great.
I'm leaving my corner. I really stayed for a while, but
thank you for
listen.
hanging.
The last episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer was also 2 hours long, so maybe it's just a long couple of weeks for us. So.
2 hours of Kennedy coverage.
Kristen's Corner. Kristen's Corner.
Great corner. Best corner there's ever been.
Best corner in the world. So out in the lobby.
Yeah, where are we?
Out in the lobby, Lauren is like, I didn't find anything. Lilah's like,
what suck you bitch doing here?
Amazing. Lilah's like, why don't we just sick Angelus on the beast? Cordelia and Lilah have a little couplet, a little exchange.
To watch Lilah just out mean girl Saint Cordelia, she calls her.
So Cordy says,
"Man, I'd love to punch your face in. Are you trying to turn me on?"
I screamed at this point. This was so gay. I just am like begging for anything at this point.
It's like all is forgiven.
Never mind.
What? We've had no problems with the episode at all.
Never said anything bad at this show. Cordelia's like, actually, I'm really sad for you because you have no hope. And then Lilah looks at her and she says, I'm what I believe in. And I drew so many hearts on my notes. I'm like, you know what? I believe in women's rights, but I believe in women's wrongs. Like, let's go off. She is prioritizing herself. Slay, girl boss. I love you.
Give her a feminism day.
Give her one. Then,
so Lilah talks about how no one's going to save them. Not Angel. Not the powers that be, not the Cavalry. So they want you to be confused,
and they got me.
It's like that Boy Meets World line. They want you to take the roles, but it's they want you to be confused.
They wanted me to be confused, and then Cordy gets a milk vision. And she's like,
perfect timing, huh?
And she's like, I know how to put the soul back. Interesting.
Yeah. And then Lilah believes in something because she realizes, like, oh, they're not gonna save us, but it's you.
Like, all right, that's wild.
Give me Lilah like worshiping at the altar of Saint Cordelia.
Yes, please. Her like. Okay, now because I'm in Righteous Gemstones mode, I'm like, Cordelia is Kelvin and Lilah is Keith. And they're just like, they have a bunch of like bodybuilder women around them. This is what I want for them. So we moved to the basement for a Wes Fred, an Angelus scene. There's only one bitch here, and I'm looking at him. Go off, Fred. I love you. Where has your personality been for the last, 5 episodes? But I love you.
It's like Fred saying the one thing no one else has said, because they all of their reactions are just like, I'm upset because you hit something. It's like, she's just annoyed and be like, you're a fucking bitch. Because he calls her a bitch cow. He brings up Pilea. She's like, bitch, you're the bitch. Just be a child.
Just fucking throw it back. Have some backbone. You fight monsters. Yeah. You can't take someone being mean to you. None of these people would last a day on Bravo.
Or the streets, honestly.
Yes.
You all live in a gun.
Yeah.
This is why your street card was revoked.
This is why
Jesus Christ. When all you guys are like, well, you're in a cage. Come on, you gotta do better than that.
Clap the fuck back.
Someone bring up his hair.
Bring up his hair. Bring up his silk shirts. Bring up the fact that he
bring up the eyeliner. Bring the eyeliner out. Ooh, you want some eyeliner? Cordelia could do it.
You little bitch. You emo little bitch.
Oh, you want some foundation?
Yeah. All right.
You dumb bitch.
Fucking Green Day ass looking motherfucker. Get him. It's not hard. We do it all the time. So
is Angelus a fan of the American Idiot album?
I bet oh God, he would. Yeah, I'd play Holiday on loop for him until he begged for his soul back.
Just play which one? I'm like, which one's the longest on the album? Jesus of Suburbia.
Yeah, I'm playing Jesus of Suburbia for him nonstop. So this is where Angel's like, "Ooh, Wes is so hot. If I were gay," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, but if people say if I were gay, they're gay. That is why are you putting yourself in that gay mindset, huh, pal?"
Me on my Tumblr days, it's I'm straight, but I'm bi for Julie Bowen.
me online being obviously, I am respectful of the gays. That's why I watch all the Emily kissing scenes in Pretty Little Liars very carefully, out of respect. It would be rude to look away. That wouldn't be being an ally. He's like, yeah, I wish I was gay. I'd kiss him. And I'm like, yeah, what else did you do, buddy? Then he, Angel reveals to Fred that Wes and Lilah have been fucking. And
the way he just kept dropping bombs and they allowed him to do so.
Also,
and again, another Wes got your ass.
But another Fred is oblivious and doesn't believe anyone could ever fuck. The same thing happens with Cordy and Connor where she's like, it's the exact same beat. She goes, no, but you would never. Oh.
And I mean, that's very early season 3 Fred. I think these people by this point, they do terrible things.
Yeah, these people are fucking the wrong people. He has a neck scar. He was evil for a while. Of course he fucked Lilah. And she cuts her.
Lilah saw that neck scar and she was like Wes was definitely fucking more people than Lilah. You see that neck scar at a bar?
I'm sorry.
Fucking on the east side? You see that neck scar on a bar on the east side?
Yeah. Yeah, if I see it there, it's on site.
You go to Black Cat, you see that neck scar at the bar?
Go to Angel Brewery, I see that fucking, I am done. If I see that downtown, I am done. Then Fred's like, oh, never mind, it's none of my business, and exonerates him from all wrongdoing because, any sex that was had is Lilah's fault because she's the evil slut, and Wes is a beautiful boy who is only temporarily seduced by her sexy evil wiles. Then, in the graveyard, we have a fucking Connor and Gunn mess around, and it's absolutely
Is this
great.
A man cave or a man's grave right here?
It's great. I loved it. They're digging up a soul eater. They're
digging up souls.
It is so fucking great. They're just being buddies. Connor saves Gunn. Gunn helps Connor. They dismember this soul eater. It rules.
So I saw from the fandom wiki for this episode, but there was no source, which that's unhelpful for me. I'm not going to do additional research. It's either in my mind or I have to, give me a source. Where it's Kartheiser was excited to have this is going to be more Gunn Connor mess arounds pretty much. And it's not as, I mean, they have more scenes together, obviously, but like they're not fun.
Like,
because that was Kartheiser's like complaint about the show after the fact. It's just like he decided to do because he was doing films. He decided to do a television show because he's like it gets to be like a different thing every week. But I don't think he was realizing also how serialized the show is and had become by the time he signed on. So like he felt very stagnant in this role, especially of course you can feel stagnant in this role.
It's a little one note.
And yeah, there was not as exciting things to do with Connor, and he got excited to do this, and he got the dynamic we were asking for.
Yeah, it fucking rules. Like Connor like compliments Gunn. I was like, this is the relationship it makes sense for them to have. Like that Gunn, it even like Gunn seems happier. Like because I think with Connor he can like just focus on the mission. Like it's easier. Like work isn't tied down by the baggage of having to do it with Fred. Like he can do it with someone who's like on his team.
And it is something that could go down a dark path if you wanted to, because like he could be like Gunn could fall into the thing where Connor sees things he used to see things, and like it could like make him backslide. But at least that's an interesting story to tell.
Yeah, like it can be like Connor Gunn could become a bad example for Connor by like trying too hard to numb with work, and then like it would be like a hey, do as I say, not as I do, and Connor being like, well, no, you have to do it fucking too, and the two of them like keeping each other honest and like both trying to be better. Cool, A+. I'm into it. But anyways, this scene was nice. I thought it was cute. In the Beast's cave, we see the Beast offer a bone blade to someone. What's this, the originals? What's this, Papatunde? I love it.
Ooh. Kristen,
not as cool a bone blade as the originals, gotta say. It's not curved, and I bet it doesn't go inside you when he gets stabbed with it.
What was that sound again?
So then, in the lobby, we've all made our talismans. Fred's hair is down. I'm screaming. The boys bring the skull of a soul eater. The sound it makes when it is set on the counter is wet. I loved it.
How did you like their fight with the soul eater? Because this guy was a little scamp.
Yeah, he was really fast. I loved it. I loved when he like grabbed Connor's soul and then like Gunn cut his hand off. Like that was great. Like it's a fun close call for them, and like the way Connor's kind of casual about it, and like like, oh, tough call. Like thanks for the save, man. Like it's nice. Like again, it just felt good.
I can't imagine all the night shoots needed for this are fun for anyone, but it really helps a lot with the effects and the monsters are doing. Again, I never want to see the Beast in the goddamn daylight.
Don't show me stuff in the daylight. So the boys are smiling. They had a fun time when they were out. We have to strip all like the flesh and stuff off the skull because it just has to be a skull.
Yeah, Corey's like, in my vision, it was just like the bones.
We have another Lorne and Lilah exchange, which fucking destroyed me. Lilah walks in and says,
"It's just like being at work, except suits by Liberace."
Wesley, would you please warn this walking infection that I haven't forgotten how she poked my head open like a Capri Sun? And while my love for humanity allows me to tolerate her presence if need be, I will smack her down. Be a doll, thanks.
If there was one time the WB could use the C word and get away with it, it should have been Lorne saying that about Lilah.
Should have. It fucking ruled. I screamed out loud. I loved it. I watched it twice. I was like the one person who will just like come right at her. I was like, I wish that it had been 5 minutes more of them just going back and forth because I would have really loved that. Instead, Lilah and Wes have a little moment, and Lilah kind of is like, yeah, I have nowhere else to go. I draw a sad face. Fred interrupts with her hair down. I write in all caps, she knows what she's doing. Then in the basement, Angelus is not on board with the plan. He's like, Angel gave up on all of you. He doesn't believe in you.
Yeah. he is like he fucking grasping, but again, he makes a point. You're using black magic to restore the soul.
Yeah, I've seen Legacies. That's not good. So
yeah, Lilah's pretty sure they're gonna get sucked into a hell dimension. I know that I hate this jacket Cordy's been wearing for this arc.
It's ugly.
I hate it. I want her to change her hair to the dream hair.
So yeah, they're like, Angelus is like, I'm so I have written spell a clock, and seemingly Angel comes back. The first words out of his mouth are, "I'm so sorry."
When he says Fred's name, she flinches.
Yeah.
Woof.
I don't like. They're like, you need to sing so Lauren can read you. He sings "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head,"
which there is a Barry Manilow cover, according to Fandom Wikis, just so you know.
Yes. I write in my notes Lauren's line: "The vibe screams soul."
Because I knew it wasn't him, so I was like clocking Boreanaz's performance here. So like when they're like, you have to sing, he says, "Oh right," he's like, his face is like, how the hell am I gonna get past this?
And how does he?
And then he ends up being shocked he got past it too. Oh, how does he?
Interesting. So Angel's like, I want to stay in the cell, just in case.
Also, Cutter's flat. He's back. Like, did you want Angelus to be your dad? Like, what the fuck? Is he more Holtz-like? Is that what?
Truly no clue how this boy...
We're done being conheads. He was great. And he's back to being him. He's back.
He's here. So Angelus says...
I can give orders from down in here. And the new ones are, no more backbiting, fist-fighting, fraternizing, or vengeance. From now on, you focus on one thing. Making it out alive. Because I'm only going to say this once. What Angelus told you was a lie. I haven't and will never give up on you. We'll get through this thing together.
He tells him he says no fraternizing, which is like, okay, your fucking is ruining everything.
Stop fucking each other. And I'm like, this is honest. Like, Angel would never, because he's too embarrassed. He'd have to admit he knew people were fucking, and clearly that's something he's incapable of doing.
Yeah, and Lilah's reaction to it is like, I can't believe we didn't crush you people years ago.
My girl.
I'm like, which lines are the most actual Angel? Like these, I'm like, the Lilah make some coffee and earn your keep around here. I'm like, that's very Angel.
That's very Angel. It was cute. They all leave. Cordy stays, and she's pissed. She's like, you're hiding. Like, you don't, now you're doing this so you don't have to look at us. And, Angelus playing Angel is like, I hate that you saw me like that. And Cordelia's like, you're not him. She then makes a Star Wars reference.
I'm like, these two don't make Star Wars jokes with each other. Like, no.
I wrote, this is not my girl in my notes. Like, I'm sorry.
Not my girl, not my guy. Like, he's like, who?
Two liars. She's like, I'm gonna leave him in his cage. Then I write in my notes, LOL, he's Angelus. Very funny.
He tells her to stay down. He's like very like. Angelus is very concerned with Cordelia staying down.
Yeah, they switch places. She ends up shut in the cell, and our boy's on the loose.
And now it's time for Fuck Watch because Fake Angel counts as a new character.
Flirting, understanding, consent, and kissing. Flirting, understanding, consent, and kissing. Fuck Watch.
Who you fucking in this episode?
I'm fucking Angelus. Look,
this is your Angelus episode?
I talk a lot about toxic men and how much they're bad. But just kidding. I love them.
And we did talk a lot about that.
He was so hot in this one, especially at the end here when he was like pretending to be good. I was like, hey, baby, what's wrong? Like, what's up? Like, how can I help you get out of that cell? Like, he's just hot and evil, and I'm interested. The scene with him and this scene with him and Fred like felt like it had way more genuine menace than like him just kind of like saying sexual stuff, which like I couldn't even tell if it was really bothering her that much. Like this scene that had some heat. In both that I was like, wow, he's hot, and I was like, oh no, what will happen? So yeah, it's Angelus for me. What about you? Who you fucking?
I see. I chose Angelus the last episode. I was considering fake Angel as my workaround.
Bullshit.
I'm like, I'm not going to. I'm going to do Gunn basking in that flamethrower light. Actually, so apparently I haven't chosen Gunn.
Hell yeah,
this
good
season.
Pick. He's looking.
Which
good.
I know is gonna bite me in the ass in a few episodes. Actually.
That's next week. LaToya's problem. So up in the office,
I was going to say, if Kristen has someone to fuck, she can chime in.
Am I allowed to fuck the same person that LaToya wants to fuck?
Yeah.
Because
if you haven't fucked him before,
is 1,000% Gunn with that flamethrower.
Hot.
Yes. Yeah, 1,000%. I don't even know what happens for the rest of the season, but this is the Gunn I choose.
I respect. He also his second day outfit was also hot. Like he was like, I'm also gonna look cute. He was in his little blue thing with like the collar. Like I thought he looked very cute, and I was like, both of you are trying to like show the other one what they're missing.
I think J. August Richards needs to grow facial hair again. I think he needs to do that.
He's got some cool styling for Vampire Academy. Like he's got like a little eyebrow scar or something. I think it's looking good. Yeah.
Oh, I love an eyebrow scar.
I'll really take any scar. You know, any scar will do for me.
Absolutely.
Neck, eyebrow.
But yes, I'm gonna share Gunn with you, LaToya, this week. I can't believe that I got to do fuck witch. I can't believe I got to do fuck watch 2 weeks in a row. 2 episodes.
I mean, technically, you always want to know who you want to fuck. So
yeah.
Flirting, understanding, consent, and kissing. Flirting, understanding, consent, and kissing. Fuck watch.
Our next scene is the Fred and Angel scene in the office. My first note is Angelus, comma, hello. So
really?
Yeah, so great for me. He's like, you see me, like, I'm just worried you're gonna forever see me as like a bad guy. And she's like, no, you're my friend.
I don't even know if the performance is all shoulders, but like it feels right when you're doing all shoulders, reciting it.
He's like, can I have a hug? And I'm like, how dare you? Like, Angel would never.
That was the moment where she's like,
can I have a hug guy? Like, it's. Can we speak briefly about, can I have a hug, guys? Ew. No. You know when you're asking for a hug in good faith, and this is a creepy hug ask.
Well, my exact note is, now he's asking for a hug, like he's Joss Whedon.
Life imitates art. So yeah, they're interrupted. Luckily, Lilah shattered all the mugs because she has oppositional defiance disorder. And Angelus is like, all right, anyways, as I was saying, I'm gonna leave. I gotta go. I have stuff to do.
Angelus uses his fucking brain. Like, he's like, this would be fun if I like just fuck some things up. And he's like, no, I should get out while the getting's good.
We do the big dolly in on him with the close up, and he goes, I have to go save the world. Fine. He leaves, and everyone's like, where's Cordy?
The monitor.
We see Cordy in the monitor.
So good.
She's laying down in the cage. They go see her.
This is essentially the cut I was in my mind I saw when Manny died and they were sleeping. This is the comedic cut I was thinking about in my mind.
And it is very comedic. She's like, I can't believe the spell failed. And Lilah's like, yeah, like it's a fucking ex machina. Like it wasn't going to work.
A dud ex machina.
Yeah, baby. And the gang agrees. They're all gonna take the shot together. And I'm like, right.
And now Fred's curling her hair too. There are waves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's volume going on.
She looks amazing. I hate her.
How dare you look this good? The next scene takes place in L.A., baby. Angelus is out in the streets and it's chaos. And he like can't find any people to eat. They're all vampires.
It's like the streets of Sunnydale once they realize the Slayer is like dead and a robot, and they're like, haha, open season.
Yeah, it's very funny.
And And no one in Sunnydale cares that this issue has affected LA. You know, you couldn't send someone out there, like your best potential. Possibly. The sun's gone.
You could send like one person to do something. Then in the lobby, like with Cordelia and Lilah, I write, LMAO, he's back. Gunn, like Lilah takes out a gun, like once everyone's getting their weapons. Like
Lilah's got a gun.
And that gun, I am screaming.
She and Wes are perfect for each other. Why is he so dumb?
I don't understand. Angel returns and calls Lilah, here's some other reasons for fuckwatch, a quote, luscious thing, end quote. Okay. He gives her a 10-second head start, which I think is sporting.
After he flipped down from the balcony in slow motion, and then she was slow motion shooting at him. We cannot ignore that.
Fucking ruled. I'm just like, this is hot. This is a worthy adversary for Lilah Morgan.
The slow motion shooting of this season, never a problem.
Yeah, no notes on that. He calls Cordelia kitten. I am about to combust. Lord help me.
He throws that arrow that she shot at him back in her leg, telling her once again to stay down.
Absolutely. Then back out in LA, baby. Connor has tracked his scent, but it ends here.
I gotta say, I'm like, where in LA is this supposed to be? Because they usually know where they are.
No, it's just like some dusty ass place. And Fred's like, oh no, he doubled back. That's why his scent lands here. And they run back. Then at the Hyperion, Angel's chasing Lilah. He's whispering. He's whistling. He's being menacing.
She has an axe now since she ran out of bullets.
Good for her. She like thinks she gets the drop on him and tries to leave, but he has found her. He scares her. He says boo.
Yeah, he does. Reminder, the Hyperion is huge.
Lilah kicks his ass down the stairs. She flips him over and throws him down the staircase, and then throws a bunch of shit down the staircase so he can't run after her.
She kicks his Happy Meal ass up and down that staircase.
She absolutely fucking does. And then she rounds the corner and is promptly face to face with Cordelia, who, for some unknowable reason, stabs her in the neck.
Yeah, she's like, Angelus is out. And Cordy's like, why do you think I let him out, ADR, you stupid bitch? I believe in all the previous leads, the you stupid bitch is out, even though they ADR'd it for some reason, clearly.
Very weird. But that's our reveal, is that Cordy knowingly let Angel out, and she has killed Lilah, and all does not necessarily seem right with her. Who's to say what's going on?
We can just fucking talk about it already.
No, we can't fucking wait.
For the most part, it fucking tracks too. It's just like, I want to talk about it already.
Yeah, it's just like, it's the fatigue. I feel like we haven't been able to talk about Cordy at all because of the ball being hidden here. And now that the ball's out, we're going to talk about it next week. So look forward to that. But that's our app.
That's our app.
If I were Team Angel right now, I would love to sit down with a nice episode of something from the WB, wherever Angel may be, since we know he's not back in his body. What episode of television would you recommend that he check out tonight?
Angel is a vampire. Does he even like TV?
I think he'll like the WB.
They got that hot teen drama to ease the pain and trauma, and here's the episode that he needs to see.
Oh, yeah. So I already talked, about like, part of me is like, yeah, exactly. Marvin's like, just say the Dawson's Creek episode that I love and is happy. Like, just watch something fun we can all enjoy and be happy. No, I feel like, especially for Team Angel right now, it's all about the love triangle between Gunn, Fred, and Wesley, and why it's bad. So just to like maybe scare them straight in terms of love triangles, they should watch Dawson's Creek. But the episode they should watch is actually season 3, episode 21, Show Me Love. Yes, named after the Robin song, Show Me Love. AKA the episode where Dawson Leary tries to kill Pacey Witter with a boat.
Dawson!
All for the love of one Miss Joey Potter.
For her.
Also, deep in the arc, which is like the pivotal final episodes of season 3 that include the character Will Krudsky. Does that name seem bad?
Yeah.
It is. But he ended up being the lead of everyone's favorite spinoff of Dawson's Creek, Coca-Cola Presents the WB's Young Americans.
Of course.
Here's the thing. You guys are not doing great in your love triangle. You know who also wasn't doing great in the love triangle? Dawson Leary. Again, trying to kill his supposed former best friend with a boat to win a trophy, and Joey's love? Like, don't be like Dawson, you guys.
Justine?
Do not.
Daniel. It's been quite an ebb. I hope that our gang can learn from this Dawson's Creek love triangle because they need to learn something. I'm begging them. In the meantime, if you would like to follow us on socials, we are at Angel on Top Cast on Twitter and Instagram. You can go to angelontop.com to find our Patreon where you can go and support us. And if you want to follow me on social media, that is very nice of you. You can do so at Lorgan Lutich, wherever you might be interested in finding me. LaToya, where can the people find you, and should they?
I mean, I'm back on Twitter now, like after a month at LaFergs. I'm sad. Follow me if you want.
But our group DM is back with you, me, and Jill. That's the best thing about your Twitter being back.
Of course, yeah. Everything else sucks.
Fuck it. And on that note, you are now checking out of the Hyperion. Ding ding.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what lies within nothing?
No.
Do you know where it ends? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Counterbalance, a high fantasy audio drama. Season 2, coming 15th of October 2023. Learn more on trilunas.com.